The presenting sponsor of Moon Tower Soccer is FVF Law.
To find out what makes FVF a different kind of injury law firm, you can visit fvf.law. Hello, friends, and thanks for listening to Moon Tower Soccer. This week, we're going to cover the LAFC series loss, which I imagine you're aware of if you listen to the show. And we're going to take a very early sneak peek into 2026. So, I am Jeremiah Bentley, and I'm joined by
Mike Cragnola. Hey, everybody. I'm Mike Cragnola. So I have been on the receiving end now of two Jeremiah Bentley intros, and I got to say, they are getting much better.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, I was scared the first time. Well, I think it was like whatever that show was. And there was the one I did with Steph where it's like, none of us know what we're doing. We don't know our own names. And fine, but thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying hard, man, every day, trying to get a little bit better.
Yeah, you can tell you're in postseason mode at least. So that's really nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, playing golf, wearing a robe. It's great.
So speaking of postseason, I did want to do just a quick shout out to all of the Swoon Tower listeners who we got to meet up with in the stadium at the very end of the year. Last night's match, I guess last night for us, 2 nights ago for y'all. We put out the call on Swoon Tower a little bit last minute that anybody who was listening and wanted to like hop in a picture to meet 15 minutes or a half an hour before kickoff. This, I think, is a lesson to learn, JB, because kickoff means something different in like 6 different places on the internet for an MLS match. And so I think going forward, if we have another listener meetup picture, we will pick a time from the jump and stick to it. You know, this match showed on SeatGeek as being a 7:30 kickoff. It showed on MLSsoccer.com as being a 7:45 kickoff. It showed the real kickoff time as being 7:55. And then what time did we get started? It was probably like 8:05 or something.
It was
like,
even later than that. Yeah. I know. So this is one we're just relying on Seth Rao, which is my normal default position on every fact, especially times. Like didn't even work out this time.
Yeah. So next season, when we have our Swoon Tower picture meetup, we will pick a time rather than a relative time. I think that'll work out a lot better. But I did want to say thank you so much to everybody who showed up for the picture. It was awesome. We are going to post it to the Swoon Tower Instagram account as our first post ever. Pretty big deal. Pretty cool. We're pretty excited about it.
That's pretty exciting. So tag. No, promote the Swoon Tower Instagram account. What are you planning
Oh,
on
yeah,
doing?
we don't have a plan yet, but certainly we are going to post this picture next year when we take the first match of the season picture with the Swoon Tower crew. We'll post that picture. Jeremiah, in the next 6 months, we might have 2 posts on that Swoon Tower account. So it's really important that you follow it at Swoon Tower on Instagram. We might do something in the off season as well. Who knows? But I know for sure those are the 2 plans that we have now. Listeners, if you have desires from that account, let us know. Like you can message us there at Swoon Tower on Insta, and we'll see it. And so that's probably what we'll end up doing is just whatever y'all want, just like us.
Just like y'all. Well, I want to add, so your third post then, I mean, this is not necessarily the third post you ever make, but your planned third post has to be y'all with the MLS Cup in 2026, holding it over your heads, because clearly that is what this whole thing is leading toward.
Yeah, exactly. We're taking it more serious next year, just like the boys will be.
Yeah. Hey, man, and one more thing that I saw the other day, it hasn't been published all that well, that I feel like we should talk about, was the Stuver Social on November 23rd at Palmer Field at 5:30. I've been to at least the last couple. Like, it's super fun, raising money for Quality Texas. I think it's $30 for a ticket, $50 to take a shot at Brad. One of the things I love that Brad does in this is like adjust his quality of goalkeeping to the person in front of him. So like the 3-year-old kid that he falls out in front of.
Sometimes I have seen him like just full on deny a child, zero heart, like zero, like just zero emotion to it, just robotic. Boom, done. No, like no.
I always love the college soccer bro who thinks he's an expert that Brad would
Yes.
always get serious about, and that guy never scores.
Yeah, it's incredible. Anyone who has a custom run up, Brad lets him know that it's not going to work for him. So one of the things I'm really excited for this year is that Casey Murphy will also be there as a special guest, and so that's super cool. Like I know that Brad and Casey have been working together for a little bit now, and so getting to hang out with a U.S. national team keeper and someone who should be a U.S. national team keeper is a pretty cool space to be in. And all the money goes to a really good cause. So definitely recommend going.
Yeah, I didn't want to miss on that one before we got into the story of the week, which is kind of the story of the year, I think, in many ways. So I would say
we're at that point now, huh?
Yeah. So I feel like late last week, I'm confused with my weeks now, but late last week, there was like a promising loss away, which we will talk a little bit more about. In LA, I felt like Austin was up for the task. I wrote this later in the notes, so I said, like I love the fact that Son hit the deck like 1 minute into the game. I feel like Austin was, somewhat aggressive playing on the road and, tried their best to let the game come at them. And so it left me feeling like, well, this is 2-1 away on the road. And like Austin's super competitive, doesn't get run off the field. Like, okay, so we're going to come back home and things may be different. And they were not. Like, they got worse. They got
were
real
different.
bad.
Yeah, they were
different.
definitely different. That is true. But the different was a bad different. It really felt like LA was like, what are we doing? Like we gotta start taking this whole thing seriously at some point, and I guess it's tonight. And that's how it felt, basically from the jump. So I also felt the same hope, and we'll get into that later in the show. But one thing I did not feel that I think a lot of people are feeling right now is a sense of panic. And so have you seen that same kind of sense that like everything needs to go? We need to like fully clear house.
Oh yeah, I've seen this. Like, we need to get rid of everybody, but like 6 players. Like some of them are unreasonable. Like I was just looking. We're gonna talk later on about the who's a free agent, and I saw like we got to get Sabovich out of here right now, and I think he signed through 2028. Like as an example, we got to fire Nico. Zuni's worthless. He's got to be gone. All this like reactionary and also like impossible kinds of things that people are talking about. And this is even for me where I feel like I pretty clearly have said like I love a Saturday game because it gives me like one day to be in my emotions. And then the second day to actually think about the game. So like this is as emotional as I'm ever going to get because the game was the match for us was less than 24 hours ago. I think at this point.
I mean, it kicked off 24 hours ago, it feels like.
So at this point, 24 hours ago, it was still 0-0, I believe. So like we've gone through a lot over the last day. But yeah, man, y'all just chill out, people. Like it's gonna be okay.
So one of the things in the outline that you've called out is getting rid of Azuni. And this is something that actually, like, even with the cold light of day shining on me, I wonder about. And in response to so many people saying, "Oh, we got to get rid of Bazuni," like that's it. And I've got a hypothetical for you, Jeremiah.
Oh, okay, let's do it.
A witch appears and says,
"Okay,
they can make it so that Mirto Azuni is sold on for either even money or a modest loss, but you have to extend Julio Cascante at his current contract for a 2+1. Do you do that? Do you extend Julio Cascante for 2 guaranteed years and an option year at his current contract, meaning he takes up a percentage of TAM throughout the rest of his time here in order to free up that DP spot? Maybe never plays. Is it better or worse if he never plays? That's a different question. But the witch offers you this opportunity. Do you take it?
I mean, I hate these witch deals. Witches just never ask an easy question. It's never fair. probably gonna try to bake me into a pie or something later on afterwards. No, I don't take this deal. Do not take this deal. Do you take this deal? Because I feel like you wouldn't have presented it unless you thought it was a marginal
So I
question
think
one
it's
way or the
a
other.
perfect deal because like there's no real right answer, right? Like both of these are to me question marks at best, right? Like maybe in 2027 the salary cap changes and Julio Cascante's deal isn't a problem. Maybe Mirto Uzuni finds it next year. I don't know. Do you trust Roto to find the DP that would fill in Mirtu's vacated spot to make the team better? Who
I don't
knows,
know. Yeah, he
right?
has not done a great job so far yet in terms of production, at least.
And so
On
like
that,
these are the questions that make a witch deal so good. Listeners, get at us, let us know what y'all think. Tag us in comments or whatever, however this works. Because
however you
like
do the things.
yeah, however you engage with Moon Tower, keep engaging and do it with your answer to the witch's deal. Do you sign Cascante for 2 more years, or do you let him walk and keep Izuni?
Well, let me ask you another Izuni question because I was just generally because these sort of bullet points are way oversimplifying like fan perception or interest, but like
Yeah, of course.
what do you buy into this? Like Uzuni doesn't really want to be here, and you could tell that his body language is going to be here, and therefore he's never going to be successful. Um,
Oh, I haven't heard this
narrative that
theory. I haven't
yeah,
heard this
like just
narrative, but I like it.
just the way
Uh,
that he walks around and acts. That's like, look, he's an Albanian, and he had success in Spain, and he like hates it in the U.S. and wants to get back to Europe, and he's never gonna succeed here in Austin. So like this takes the like he turned the David Goss theorem like second year he turns it on and becomes like a more productive player thing. It just says like he's another European player miserable being in the United States.
yeah, I haven't heard this theory, but I think it's an interesting one to talk through. I also think when he was signed, he made it very clear that like this is a job he doesn't play for passion. And
True.
so I don't know how much of like that concept of like I'm putting in work and that's I come here to do soccer, to score the goals, to go home. Like maybe that's just how he plays, right? But you can definitely tell, I think the I don't care narrative doesn't match up to me with the way that he behaves on the field. We'll probably get into this in a little bit, but like you can very clearly see that when things don't go his way, it's really bad for him. So I don't know that I buy the he doesn't care side of that conversation.
That's okay. I'm good with that part of it. So let's 2026.
Yeah. Are
I'd
you
originally written
feeling
like, do
are
you feel
you
like it'll be
feeling an
better?
optimist? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are you
Of
feeling an
course.
optimism? Of course.
We're, we're,
Okay.
we're optimists, but like why? Like why specifically we should we be optimistic?
Yeah. So
So
for is that's a question for me.
yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, so at the start of every season, there is the chance to go 34-0-0. So like that alone should fill people with some hope. Like we haven't lost a game yet. We're undefeated at the start of the season. That's great. Maybe we can only say that for the first couple of games, but there's until we lose, why couldn't we win? So that's my first kind of like mindset. As an Austin FC fan, I feel like in order to be excited about the new season, I have to think that way. My second reason is probably like a little bit more dependent on the off season. Ultimately, I think either we're gonna have Owen Wolf again, and he's gonna be a year older and a year better, or we will have sold Owen Wolf for a bucket load of money that we can then turn into other more better players. And either way, I think that's a reason for optimism going into the season. Now, whether we sign actually better players or they come good when they get here or any of the other things, I can't concern myself with right now. But I can hope for an injection of cash making this team better. What
I
about
do
you?
like the I do like they if they come good when they get here because I feel like that's something that Austin has not managed to successfully do a lot of.
Yeah, there are a few players who like have looked really good, right? Like Svatak has come in and generally been a massive upgrade. Dessler has been a massive upgrade. But like more of those, please.
Yes. So I mean, I think just the reason I have this optimism is, um, generally speaking, overall, through Roto's now three-ish seasons in charge, like the team is better. Like this team is better than the 24 team, top to bottom. Like it's not great. It's probably reached the limits of its ability in this season. I don't know. Maybe it's like limitation would be like taking LA to three. You know, but this team was better than 24. 24 was better than 23 overall. Like I just have to believe that Austin's going to continue to, but like the floor is going up every year when Roto's around, and obviously like hitting on some guys who are super talented and productive would be nice and a good change. But like I feel like the team is getting a little bit better every year, and so like it'll be the same next year too, with more flexibility with the guys. We'll talk about options, but like there's a lot of players on options, a lot of players we don't necessarily love wanting to have around long term on options. So it feels like there's more roster flexibility. It all comes down to what Austin does with it.
Yeah, and then you've got one more note here. And I want you to talk about this one.
The Brandon Vasquez note?
Yeah.
Yes. At some point. That this is also the question too. Like, because when did he get hurt? Like June-ish?
Yeah.
So like,
July, right?
July. So like I don't think we're gonna see him back early in the season, but he was finally starting to hit his stride a little bit. And I think he was like the club's leading scorer for months after his injury. So one would hope that getting him back makes a difference for this team overall.
Yeah. When he comes back, what do we do about Mirto Uzuni?
Well, yeah, you mean like the two guys that basically play the same position?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Why can't they be
Different.
Why can't they be different? Well, they
Why
can't,
can't they be different?
Bohonga and Song basically play the same position. They just happen to do it at an elite world class level, and they thrive together. But that's also two guys at the top, right? Without like trying to play them on the wings or trying to play one in the middle and one in the wing, which is not the way that Austin's going to be able to play. But yeah, that does become interesting because then if you go back to the starting three DPs up top that we had at the beginning of this year, then that also presents the where's Owen Wolf going to go question too,
Right.
which becomes this goes all the way back to like the pieces don't necessarily fit together even when the talent is there.
Yeah. So I think there is a hope to be had that we figure it out after a year of seeing all of the things that didn't work, right? But I understand some of the concern. So like probably somewhere in the middle, right, is the real answer of like we're not going to go 34-0, but we should be better if things fall into place than we were this year. And that's so boring. Is this what Landon feels
Right.
like all the time?
All the time. It's like his existence on this earth when he talks about soccer. So he's in Japan. He's on a sabbatical or something.
That's right. Yeah. All right. You want to take a quick break and then we have to talk about these two games?
We will get to talk about these two games and maybe what they mean for the future because like we've talked about all day, like season's over. It's not a whole lot of reading any individual moments and what they mean for right now, but some interesting things happened over the last week.
Yeah. Moon Tower Soccer is brought to you by our friends at FVF Law, the official injury lawyers of Austin FC.
FVF is a different kind of personal injury law firm dedicated to community, transparency, and client education. And they have their own podcast called Summary Judgment, which you can check out wherever you get your podcasts.
You can go to FVF.law to find out what makes FVF a different kind of injury law firm and why understanding your legal options can dramatically change the outcome of a case. Once again, that's FVF.law. Amplify Credit Union is a member-owned financial cooperative that served the needs of Central Texans for over 5 decades. As a credit union, Amplify has no shareholders or parent companies. That means more of your money stays in the community.
Amplify has been the home of fee-free banking since 2022. Their free checking accounts come with 0 overdraft fees or minimum balances. That means Amplify's fee-free checking accounts help you get more mileage from your everyday spending.
Amplify membership is open to any Texas resident. Learn to trust your bank again at Amplify Credit Union. To learn more, go to www.goamplify.com/moontower-soccer. All right. JB, I don't remember what the pregame narratives were for LAFC.
Well, there's one that I wanted to talk about because I was listening to our show with Adrian before that match. And I'm like, man, we really went hard on this, like maybe Bukhari won't play thing. And then he ended up in the lineup, but then he misses the second game. So I feel like we did not go too hard.
Yeah, we didn't go hard enough, maybe.
We didn't go hard enough because and from the way he played, like it seemed like the dude maybe wasn't right the whole match.
Yeah, and so we had that narrative going. I do want to call out here also. I want to take a victory lap for boring but correct Landon Cottam, who I projected would say that LAFC would win in 2. If you recall, I said we would win in 2, Austin, because you and Adrian said that we would win in 3. But then I said Landon would say LA in 2. And my version of Landon was right.
Was right. Mike playing the part of Landon Cottam was accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I do want to get it out there that congratulations, Landon, on your accurate prediction that you sent to me through the spirit realm. Great work.
And then the other thing that we talked about was just the talent matchup and the fact that LAFC has guys on the bench that should be playing for Austin, that would start for Austin, maybe among the best players for Austin. And even on this one, which is the good of the 2 matches, like that was clear. Like Austin played, it's a great style. Like I love the way they played. I love the way they approached. I love the way that they limited Song and Bouanga really a lot in this one.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of all on the edge. On the edge.
Yeah, exactly. For the most part, we did a decent job, and I think that's the best we could have asked for from this team against that team, right? But yeah, the lineup had Stufer in goal, back line of Svatak, Heinzijk, and Biru. And then we had Gallagher and Dessler as our wingbacks, with Danny Pereira and Ilya Sanchez as our kind of deeper lying midfielders. Front line of Owen Wolf, Izuni, and Bukhari. Wolf drifting on into the midfield when he needed to, staying out wide when he would get those overlapping runs or underlapping runs, and then trying to find occasionally a place to break. But mostly it was sitting back and just being peppered with shots.
Yes, yeah. So the shots end up 18-8 LA. Yeah, the shot advantage is going to be huge for LAFC in both of these. Shots on target, huge on both of these. The second one, X goal is, I think, basically tied, depending on what you look at, but also had the advantage of 2 PKs, which are typically really high XG chances. Did not necessarily turn out to be that way at home. I think.
Well, remember, XG doesn't take into account who is shooting. And so it just takes into account the average player at that spot with where defenses are lined up and the path to goal, right? So average XG for a PK, really good.
Yes, that's a great point.
Well, you can fill in the space there, that dead space on your own.
Yeah. Oh, right, but what the man is really saying. So I think goal wise, we're not going to go through like a ton of these in depth. So like we get a Brendan Heinzijk own goal 20 minutes in. This is when I think there were a lot of questions about whether it's going to be onside or not. Ilya gets beat pretty bad off the edge. Ball goes in off BHI, who also had a pretty bad week overall, I feel like.
Yeah.
Both.
I had put this in the second match preview, or I guess discussion of like, is this where we talk about BHI just being totally outclassed in this series? Because it was a tough weekend for him. I guess a tough week. And so, yeah, this was a part one of being kind of a victim of poor decision making, and also being left out to kind of hang on this one.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
said, I mean, 5 holes Stuver, really deft touch on the finish. So
Yes. Yeah. Shades of Amro Tarek, one of the great finishers in Austin FC history.
but
Um,
yeah, we got I love this note, Jeremiah. I'm gonna let you read it.
oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you would like this one too, because that was in my head the whole time I was watching it. It's probably like from minute 32 all the way through the end of the first half. Like Ellie has several really good chances. And I feel like every time, this is what you talked about last week when we were talking about whether this was the best season Brad Stewart ever had. Every time there was a punch. And sometimes there were punches back into danger that he
Yeah.
recovered from and punched again. But like Brad, often will catch these balls. And I don't know if it's just like the quality of LA or what was going on, but it was pretty nervy for all these chances.
Yeah, there were a lot of punches, a lot of parries, a lot of deflections that like some of them, to your point, ended up in pretty rough spots for us. None of them, we didn't have to pay for any of them in the first half, so that was nice. But
So we get the
then
half.
we made it. We made it. We made
We
it to
made
the
it.
half. 1-0. Perfect chance for a second half team, right?
Yes, which Austin is clearly,
obviously.
always.
I mean,
Yeah, and we
so
do.
far in knockout competitions this year, that was true. We were a second half team in the Open Cup. We really like showed our mettle. And so going into the half, I was like, honestly, this is basically exactly where we want them. Like, we've got a shot here. And then
Yeah,
in the 63rd minute, there's this awesome assist by Owen Wolf to John Gallagher to put the goal in. Really, really good play, good run of play. Like, the ball was great, super good delivery. John found himself open and like was able to finish, unlike the other time that he found himself wide open, couldn't quite get it done.
yeah. There's a lot of good combination play there, but like Owens, like squaring up like he's going to shoot, looking at goal and laying it off to John was just beautiful
Yeah,
on this goal,
that moment
particularly.
where
And
like in the replay, I thought they switched to slow mo because of like how patient Owen was when collecting this crazy ball in the box. Like the way he just like eased up and like so composed. The kid's 20, and to like be able to not just rocket it at the net as soon as you get the chance is like not a thing that you see normally in young MLS players. So when he slowed up, made that pass, really great.
yeah, and you talked about in the chaos, which I think was an important part of it too, right? Because like Uzuni pulls this ball down into the air, and there's like a scramble, and he gets it back over to Owen, and there's kind of a scramble, and Owen just like finds calmness, slows down, gets the ball where he needs to be. Yeah, and Gally does a great job finishing this one, which I assume was probably also a very high XG chance, but ended up in the back of the net.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. And so this one's 1-1 at 63. This becomes like maybe I think we talked about last week, if you get to PKs, this is what was in my head for sure, watching it at home on TV. If you get to PKs, this is Brad Stuber's moment. This is his chance. We've got the better keeper, so like let's just keep it this way. And maybe we'll have like this victory. I don't know that it would say it was undeserved, but it would be surprising victory. in a
Yeah,
way.
smash and
Especially-
grab, you know?
yeah, but it doesn't feel quite smash and grabby because it wasn't one of these games. It was like 80-20. It was like a totally undeserved finish. Like I would have felt good about this one. Would have felt justified, and this would have been what I think one road team won in the 8 matches.
Yeah.
In the 8 game one. So like this
Yep.
would have been very rare too.
Yeah, it would have been us in New York, right? But instead, no. I will
And then-
say on this goal, you made a note here that's really astute that like this was maybe the one time all night that we had guys crashing the box. Like we had runners off the ball running toward goal. I know it became a meme, but like verticality is a problem for this team. And like has been for a long time. And so to actually see players running north south on the field toward the goal felt really good. And then good things came out of the chaos of it. So, like, maybe, yeah, it's a meme, but also maybe there's
Maybe
some
we should do it.
validity. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was smart too because right, LA's like we'll see in the second match, like LA can kill you on the counter, but this is a time when it was like everybody crashed forward, and it was a smart time to do it, and that's I feel like we see Austin like crash when they shouldn't and hold back when they should, and like just they like there's a lot of decisions that collectively I question, but this one was one. It's like it made total sense that everybody was like going forward, and it creates the opportunities to score this goal.
Yeah. Speaking of opportunities to score goals, LA took theirs in the 79th minute here. Son just, man, he's so good. Like he just decided, no, now is going to be the time where I like put my stamp on this game. And he took on 5 Austin players, which left Denny Bouanga wide open for a shot. Lays it off perfectly to Denny, who drills this ball. Brendan Heinzike has the misfortune of being there and trying to get the deflection, which doesn't work. Bounces off his arm. Stuver is unable to recover from the deflection. And then Nathan Ordaz is there on the back post to tap it in. I think the biggest crime in this goal is that Denny Bouanga didn't get the goal for it. And the second biggest crime is that he didn't get the assist for it because it bounced off Brendan Heinzike.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. And so then everybody, when he scores, everybody from Austin throws their arm up, calling it offside, which I feel like is what it can be either like a true thing or like a team that's beaten and wants to deflect attention.
Yeah.
This felt like the team that was beaten and wanted to deflect attention, right? Like
Yep.
I watched it like 3 different times just before we started recording, just to see like if could I find a way to blame the refs?
Right.
Can I make it somebody else's problem? And I like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
It was totally legit.
Yep, it was a super legit goal. And this is what happens when you crash the box. You find yourself in positions when things go crazy to bury a goal and take a lead, right? Like this is exactly, I don't want to say exactly how they drew it up because clearly there was some some luck involved at the end there, but like I mean, you can't ask for much more than Denny and Son combining in the opponent's box to rifle a shot at the keeper.
With like one dude in the way, right?
Yeah.
Like not 7 guys back there.
Right.
Playing defense.
I think the hardest part for me is knowing that if it hadn't deflected off Brendan Heinzike, Brad Stuver would have saved it because he was in position and ready. And then the deflection just sent it totally out of the way. Heartbreaker.
So is this gonna be I think we can lead into the like things we like and don't like. And you've already touched on this, but like Brendan Heinzike weak, I think overall is a thing that I don't like.
Yep.
We can start with that.
Yeah, I think that's it's a tough week for our guy in the back line who had been so consistent all year. He had like 1 or 2 low periods and just happened to pick this week as his lowest of the year, I think.
So what is the thing you liked? Do you have anything that you liked out of this one?
I loved Ilie Sanchez putting Son down in the first 2 seconds of this game. And then I loved him running his mouth about it the entire rest of the game.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it on Swoon Tower, but I loved all of the Korean fans' reaction to this who do not know that Ilie had been the captain of that team up until this year. And like absolutely going bananas hating Ilie Sanchez. I think that to me might be the thing I loved most about this match. What about you?
That was a really good one. I mean, it's like the song on repeat on this one is like Owen Wolf.
Yeah.
The way Owen Wolf played and the way Owen Wolf can create at his age. Now, did you see this? Who was it? Was it Taylor Twellman that talked about him maybe being like the best 20-year-old American player, like above Diego Luna now, and just like not getting his chance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm quite there yet, but it's good to see him getting that recognition from somebody that's not in Austin.
I do think it's a fun comparison to like put the two next to each other as like what they do and how they play, and they're both playing for teams that don't really take advantage of the thing that they're best at. And so I think that's a really interesting comparison.
I did also like that kept, other than this one opportunity and this one, like Austin kept Bouanga contained.
Yeah.
I mean, and Son to some extent too, but I really feel like Denny Bouanga
didn't do too much, even though he was
too much.
Involved in both of the goals.
We're gonna get it. Still gonna get a 2-flip week out of him, but
yeah,
not on this night in LA.
Yeah. What didn't you like, Jeremiah?
I mean, we touched on this, but like Bukhari was not threatening, and I'm hoping it was just injury. But like he didn't play like himself. There was none of that. Like take a guy 1-on-1. Do creative things with the ball that they could have used more of in this one. None of the best things that we usually see from Bukhari. I feel like he wasn't even really a factor at all in this one. So that I did not like.
Yeah, I found myself yelling, "Just cook him," a lot while I was sitting on the couch, which I know we all yell things on the couch. We all think we're good at this. And but that was how I was feeling. It's like, come on, man, just rip it. Like, rip this guy, tear him apart. Like, Ryan Hollingshead is so old. You could be smoking this guy if you were feeling it. Yeah, the thing that I didn't like is how slowly we moved the ball when we had it. We just looked like the worst versions of 23 and 24 Austin FC. Passing the ball around the back with zero plan and doing it so slowly that like we're rotating this play to the other side of the field, but like every pass, LA is just resetting their defense because we are so ponderous with moving the ball to a new section of the field that like we could have just kept it where it was. And I think that was heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was. Wait, you're yelling things on the couch reminds me. Do you watch a lot of college football? Watch a lot of American football? Never. Okay.
Yeah, no. I came from a place, Jeremiah, where there was a pro team for every sport. And so I didn't have to watch kids do it. Like I could watch professionals. And so I did.
Well, I also watched professionals at the University of Texas. But I realized I was at that game on Saturday, and every time there's a deep ball, I like yell at the defensive back, like, turn around, turn around, turn around. And I realized, like, I hate that guy in the stadium. And then realized I am that guy in the stadium. So now I'm like, I'm learning. Once we got to halftime, I realized like that's what I do every time there's a deep ball is like yell at Malik Muhammad to pay attention and turn around and look at the ball. Like I've stopped, but I think I've been doing it for years now. It's like, I don't know, maybe it's growth, but yeah, I hate this. Like it makes you think of those dudes that like every time there's a ball shoot, right. Every time there's a ball within 35 yards of goal, they're like screaming for everybody to shoot all the time.
Yeah.
And that guy gets louder and louder as the game goes on. Like, especially in this one, on the home match where we're getting like boat raced.
Yeah.
Just hear like people screaming shoot nonstop every time the ball's across the half line. And maybe that's a little bit of me too. So I guess that's the thing I didn't like and a thing I learned about myself.
Amazing. I love to yell shoot all the time. But I like only in the worst opportunities do I yell shoot. We just recycled it back to Stuver. Shoot! Like give me one of those. But like the thing that I learned from this match is LA is still beatable, even with their best players on the field. We would have had to play a perfect game, but we could have done it. And so it gave me a lot of hope going into the second game. Let's take it out.
The part where we're going to take a break and then talk about the second game. Yeah. Moon Tower Soccer is brought to you by Sage Wilson Realty. The Sage Wilson team is made up of Austin experts who are client-focused and have over 30 years of combined real estate experience.
If you or someone you know are in need of Sage real estate advice in Austin, talk to our friends at Sage Wilson Realty. Be sure to check them out online at sagewilson.com.
Our premier sponsor is Garwood's Consulting, helping clients in the public affairs space from lobbying at the local, statewide, and federal levels to digital and communications campaigns across the country.
McGuire Woods Consulting has offices in 10 MLS cities and is proud to sponsor Moon Tower Soccer and support Austin FC because they consulted a witch recently, and that witch told them that Austin FC is going 34-0-0 in 2026, and who wouldn't want to be a part of that? Contact our friends at McGuire Woods Consulting at mwcllc.com for more information. Let's talk about this home match. Jeremiah, what were your vibes coming into this match?
Coming into the one, we did get the Bukhari out notice.
Yeah,
which we
sad. We have learned Bukhari would be out. We have learned Diego Rubio will be out. So we are already playing with two attacking hands tied behind our back, but not in a good way.
But when I walked in that stadium that night, just the vibes, I felt like were incredible. Like pregame.
Immaculate.
It was so loud.
It was so good.
Yeah. It's like 2022 from like what I think as far as the experience goes. So I'm like, you know what? This night's our night anyhow, right? Like it's gonna be like the fans are on it. That's like the first good weather we've had the whole freaking season.
Yeah,
like it's
couldn't have
beautiful
been better
evening.
Outside. Oh,
and yeah, I was feeling it, man. I dropped into the Swoon Tower picture like literally the second the picture was taken.
Yeah, you must have been on like cloud nine because like we showed up early. We wanted to get there for the the party at Live Oak Park, $4 beers at the stadium, almost $4 beers in the stadium. It's so close to being inside. We can do this, Andy. We can make a $4 beer available in the stadium. I know it. It's possible. We're so close. But not just beers were there. Tiff's Treats was giving out free cookies. They were giving out free dozens of cookies with a little like promo code. So I got one of those. I love Tiff's Treats. The vibes were awesome. We were having so much fun outside of the stadium, seeing all of our friends. It felt like everybody knew this was our last time at home until 2026. Let's make it a party.
That
Diego
part
Rubio,
is true.
walking around, hanging out, like meeting fans, giving selfies and then the high fives, and it was awesome. Later, he was walking around the concourse, just like talking to people. It was great. And like that level of vibe is a really good one to have, especially going into a match like this.
Yeah, and I would say that's like that continued through one Tifo. Again, great work from Team Tifo on putting that thing together. Giant. I mean, like the scale of these Tifo
And
efforts and like
how
the number of
clean
people
they are.
Yeah.
The lines are
intricacy of it,
perfect. Like, oh, this Tifo was really, really good. I had taken a friend of mine to the match who is visiting from Bristol in England, and he's a Brighton fan. And I was telling him like, yeah, the Tifo that we're going to pull up tonight is like, it's the last one of the season. We put it together in 2 weeks. Like the volunteers who did all this are incredible. And he was like, what? Because, in English soccer, it's not a thing. And so he was like, do you mean like the big art? Like that's how it's just done by people? Like he was blown away to learn that like everything from the drawing of it to the sewing of it to the putting it on the thing to pulling the ropes up, all of that is volunteer work. And so like for us who are heavily involved in the culture, I think we forget just how special and cool that is. And so I wanted to take a moment here on the podcast to shout out all of the volunteers who spent thousands of hours over the past 2 weeks, because we didn't know when we were going to have a home playoff game until 2 weeks ago. Like, so the work that they did to make that happen in such a short time is really, really cool, and should like, if you know anyone who did it, tell them thank you. If you want to do it, reach out to your local supporters group, whether that's Austin Anthem or Los Verdes or La Murca or anyone else. They are absolutely always willing to have extra helping hands. And you get to be like a part of the match day atmosphere. And that sounds awesome and feels awesome.
Yeah, that's super cool. We get. I mean, I think just when I was like a casual MLS fan, you see Tifo, even if you know it's like fairly unique and it's really cool, but like I don't think anybody ever appreciates like the work, the time, the money. Like you expect somehow really like, oh, the league's got to be behind this because it's like the league benefits so much
Yeah.
from all this effort, and like the league puts literally zero of anything into it. It's just like fans who have this passion and love and like willingness to create too, because like plenty of us are happy to like go and yell and scream and chant all game long, but also maybe not like go on a Wednesday night at 9 o'clock and paint tifo because that's what needs to happen.
Yeah. For a lot of folks, it just feels like magic. And if you want to be part of making magic, you should do that.
You could do that.
So
Yeah, so I think no, I was just gonna say lineup wise now we get it. We see mostly the same lineup as we did the week before, with the difference being that we don't have Bukarian and we get the Robert Taylor start. And
just like everyone's been asking for.
yeah, and he
Here it
performed
is.
just like the other half of people who thinks he kind of suck. I think it's kind of like how he played. So like maybe those people were right. Maybe they were right.
Look, I've heard it both ways, Jeremiah. I don't know necessarily that he was our worst contributor on the night, but he certainly would be benched in favor of Osman Bukhari, even when Osman Bukhari is not feeling 100%. If what we saw last night is the peak of Robert Taylor.
Yeah. Well, I think game wise, so we get the Uzuni gets like the first big chance, and this will portend, the rest of his night.
Wide open on this pass.
Yeah, go for it.
Phenomenal pass right up the gut to him, just like he wants, and he's got it alone on goal, and he is driving toward it. Jeremiah and I sit on the opposite side of the stadium from this goal, or from this chance, so we can see from his viewpoint, but like 100 yards behind him. I'm thinking there is no way this isn't top bins. Where did you think he was placing this goal or this shot?
Oh, well, I thought he was going to go either left or right, not straight down the middle, and certainly not into the upper concourse.
Okay. So you didn't think he was going to kick it at either Double Dave's or One Taco?
No, I did not expect to see that.
Well, let me tell you, you were wrong, because that's where he kicked it. Woof. Just woof. Real bad miss on this one with no pressure on him. And yeah, very quickly after that, what happens?
Well, then that's when we get the Sun and Bouanga show that we would see on all three of these goals in a way, although I think Bouanga gets 2 goals, Sun gets a goal, Sun gets 1 assist. Probably deserves a lot of credit for the third goal also. So, yeah, this one's just hit a goal in transition. Bouanga hits Sun in transition behind everybody, and that's how it goes. There's no way it's going to end any other way than it does.
And this finish from Sun couldn't be more perfect. Like, it is just barely out of the reach of Brad Stuver or any other human goalkeeper. It is perfectly into that bottom corner and just settles in the net. And then we see their cute celebration, and it's so annoying. It's so annoying when it happens to us.
Because it's so wholesome? Is that why it annoys you? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you want to hate it so bad, and I do. And then I feel bad because, like, they're just friends. Like, I can't be mad at friends, but I am very much.
And you get these, like, very polite South Korean fans, right? Like, in the corner, just full of joy, and I want to hate them too, but I can't.
Yeah, this will be in my things I learned. I want to talk about that a lot more, and so I'm putting that in the bottom of this here as we go forward. So, and then very quickly after this, Denny Bwanga gets just in, reel in. Jeremiah, which one is this goal? Is this the one where Brad Stuver comes out to try to
Yeah, Brad's
stop
like,
Son?
yeah, that's I
Okay.
swear, man. And when we were talking about Brad's year last week, the thing I was going to say and I forgot was like, I feel like this year is the time that he's had the least just like adventures out of goal
Yeah.
where he
Adventures in
didn't, where he
goalkeeping.
gets stuck. Yes, like he's not tried to play the ball so hard at his feet. He's not gotten so far out that he's gotten chipped all year long. And this is just like sort of the regression to like the look. Brad's awesome, but like he's got some scary tendencies sometimes, and this is like one that he's suppressed all year long. But yeah, he gets out involved in the play, and just like you can tell from that moment that he's not going to be able to get back. And you just hope that somebody like clears a header off the line that goes out of bounds and that Austin gets a chance to reset. Because if the run of play continues, it's going to end up in the back of the net, which it does.
So I actually disagree with that take because
Okay.
we had just seen when Sonny gets alone, you can't stop him. He's going to score. And so from Brad's position, right, he sees Son beat the defender. Poor Brendan Heinzike again. Or was this Svatak? Doesn't matter. Both of them not great. In this moment, Son is going to be in on goal all alone. The ball is a little bit further out in front of him than most MLS players would be able to comfortably get to. It just so happens that Son is maybe one of three of the best MLS players in the league. And so in this moment, I totally get why Brad made the choice he did. Son's going to score if he's all alone and Brad sits back in goal. There's no stopping that. Son's going to score if Brad doesn't get to the ball. The only chance Brad has is getting to that ball to like knock it out or clear it or whatever. I think the one mistake that he made is not clearing Son out. Like I think if you play the body and not the ball, you've maybe got a better chance here. Like you might end up with a yellow or maybe a
You
red
might
card. But
put it in the ref's hands.
but I think you are like that's the only chance you have of a goal not happening here, right? And so I get why he did it, and I think he recovered pretty well. It just so happened that while he was recovering, Denny Bwanga was completely unmarked and totally wide open on the other side of the field. And so to me, this is like a full team defense failure, not just a what is Brad doing moment. Because I don't think you win no matter what you
You don't
do.
either way. You think there's no think it's it's a false choice there. I mean, and this
Yeah.
I feel like on the night, and I think that that's probably the theme of all four of these. Well, I would say the first three goals are like team failure.
Yeah,
The
fourth
fourth
goal
goal is
doesn't
just
count.
like them giving up. Like nobody was
Yeah.
really even trying anymore at that point, other than Jeremy Abobasi because he needed a goal. But yeah, those were all like team
Danny
efforts.
Pereira and Jeremy Abobasi were the two people trying in 90+3, and one of them tried better than the other.
Yeah,
Like, that's it.
yeah, and then but still, it's 2-0. I feel like that was probably a moment that was deflating for the energy in the stadium. Like even the first goal wasn't necessarily so much that way, but I feel like it's things wane a little bit, and then at 39 we get this penalty opportunity for Mirto Uzuni off it's a handball, right?
Yes. Off a handball in the box by Denny Bwanga. And
Yes.
so, or was this the Biru foul? Because we get two penalties.
The foul's
one
on
of
the
them,
second one.
Okay.
Yep.
Then yes, this is a handball by Denny Bwanga immediately, like shortly after he scores and does a flip right in front of us. Infuriating. Uh, but what happened in your section when it was clear Uzuni was taking the ball to the penalty spot? What was the general reaction around you, and what was your reaction?
The general reaction, well, a guy like seven people over for me who, because I feel like Uzuni like he wasn't carrying the frosted blonde all the way through his hair like he does sometimes. So you just like the brown back of his head. And then we get to turn to the screen and the guy's like, "Oh no, is that Uzuni taking the PK?" And I'm like, "It'll be fine." Like I feel like we've jinxed people on this show before talking about how good or bad they are. And I'm like, who else in my mind, like who else do you give this thing to in this spot? Like this is our finisher. This is our goal scorer, supposedly. I'm gonna ignore what happened earlier. So like I was fine with it.
Yeah.
The attempt was so bad.
My entire section was yelling, no, no,
Okay.
not Uzuni. Literally, like children, full grown adults, like grandmothers. Like it was bad vibes, Jeremiah. When they saw that Uzuni had the ball under his arm, no, you can't be serious. Like children were so
Children.
upset that he was going to take this shot. And like, when that's the vibe of your home fans, like, what can possibly happen here other than exactly what happened? I was talking with Zach Graham from the North End podcast after the match, and he said, "Brother, this one was worse than the Open Cup final because he's right behind that goal. He's like, I saw both of these. I see everything. Hit the sound cue, like, and man, what a bummer of a shot. Just
Yeah,
right into Hugo's chest. And
I
Hugo,
mean, it was like telegraphed too.
about.
It was like telegraphed, and it was slow. Like it wasn't even like did a deke and then like went right back at the middle.
Yeah.
It just, yeah.
And we talked about it. Hugo's bones. He's not even good. He's old. Could have been anywhere else except for right at him, and it probably goes in. Ugh,
And it
brutal.
doesn't.
It
And then
sure
it gets even
doesn't.
worse.
Yeah.
It gets even worse. We get another Denny Buonga goal. It was assisted officially by Hollingshead and Porteous, but I think it was one of these like everybody on LA almost touched the ball and everybody on Austin
Didn't.
could have failed,
Yeah.
didn't, and failed, and wasn't even that competitive on it. And I don't remember who Hollingshead really beat somebody. I think maybe Beateru for a ball in the air. It was really bad. And yeah, we get another Buonga goal. We get another flip. Like this flip was less. I think he's tired at this point. He finishes this one less strong. There's a little bit of a skip at the end of it. So like, I don't know. I would have been okay with him landing on his head at this point in time.
Yeah, it was brutal watching him flip in front of me. Cause like those were like right in front of us, both of us. So rude. That is something that I put in my things we didn't like category. 2 flips at us. Rude.
And then we get at the very end of the half, we get 45 plus 6, I think, on a half that had plus 5.
Yeah.
We get the this is the foul on Biru, right? That you just talked about.
Yeah.
And we get the change. Who did you think we were going to see take this PK?
I thought maybe Ilie. I thought also maybe Uzuni would try again. I was very nervous that it would be Uzuni again. Everyone in the section was like, "Oh God, please don't let it be Uzuni." Like, and meanwhile, my friend Daniel from Bristol, who I invited to the match, was looking at me and saying, "Mike, do they not play 45-minute halves? Like what's going on? Why is it 51 minutes? Like, what's happening here?" When Danny took his penalty. So that's kind of the vibe in the section. And so to see Danny step up with the ball, I was thrilled. How did you feel?
I felt good about it. I felt good, and I think he lived up to it.
Yeah,
It was a way better attempt. He buries it.
Yeah.
So then it's 3-1. Then we get the everybody criticizes Nico for subbing super late. So we get the halftime offensive moves to get Fodre, Jean, and Julio in for Svatak, Taylor, and Gallagher. So basically, all 3 of these are
like for like.
in the interest of chasing goals, right? Like for like. And then, it's like we just got to get that one goal, make it close. And then we get so close to Calvin J. Fodre magic.
I
72.
know.
And I think it was Julio, I think, is offside on this one, right?
It's whoever was right there with him making the same run. One of the 2 of them was offside, and I cannot I didn't see the replay. Obviously, they didn't play it in the stadium. I was surprised that it didn't go to VAR. I am not upset at the end of the day because ultimately it didn't matter.
Yeah, I think we've already talked about this final goal. This is just like a team beaten, like you said, nobody other than Obobasi and maybe Danny Care. Marky Delgado gets an assist on this. Like, good for him.
Put it in accounting stats, but yeah, brutal night, brutal goal. The people just start to like at this point have already started flooding out, and it becomes a
Oh
deluge.
man, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, man, they're like ever. It's empty by the time this one finally ends.
Yeah,
After that,
heartbreaker. All right, we've got some player notes here. We talked already about BHI's poor week, so we won't belabor that point. Um, was there anyone who stood out over the two games? Because I don't think Owen particularly like did a lot in this second game. I think Danny played the better game of our two younger midfielders. I thought Owen was frustrated and like kind of invisible for a lot of the match.
I think you're right. I think Danny did some creative stuff in the first match. I don't think he was as as influential as Owen, but I think as if you look over the course of the two, he's probably the one that was most consistently good.
Yeah.
Or the closest to it was Danny.
Yeah. I think other than Danny, nobody really earned a shout out over the series. Beyond the like clear amount of effort that everyone gave, maybe not always in the right places, right? Something Brad mentioned in his post match interview, just talking about like players trying to take on too much and filling a space that maybe they shouldn't be because there's a structure in place to support what they're trying to do. Shout out to We Are Austin TV as always for getting in there and talking to the players, even when probably it's pretty miserable to be in that room.
They're probably not in the mood to, yeah, give a lot of really good feedback. So, I mean, one thing I did like is like I don't mind McConaughey and Woody Harrelson beating the drum at a playoff match. Like that seems the kind of you find your most famous fans, give them a moment in front of the screen. I mean, it's a thing like even my wife who like doesn't even care about it at all was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool they did that." Right? I'm good with this. I know there's some criticism of that, too. I'm the more hardcore part of the fan base. Like that's what they're there for.
Yeah, I will say my visitor friend was very impressed that Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson were both at the game cheering for Austin. So, to your point, it definitely like brings in casuals. I think what specifically this match highlights is the difference between McConaughey and Woody's Austin FC fandom and Will Ferrell's LAFC fandom, who was also in the house because he's
Yeah.
at every match. Like that level of commitment to his investment is very different than McConaughey's, and I think that's a problem that like is a justifiable annoyance for a lot of people. Um, Personally, I don't care, but like I get why it's annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think well, and we to the point of being at the Longhorn game, the day before, like we ended up walking past like 20 feet from McConaughey on the way, in the pregame, and he's like at every game, the whole match. I think it's part of that too. Is he's not at every Austin FC match, but like
Right.
you know, playoff match, it's on TV. Expect to see him.
Yeah.
We talked about the vibes
Yeah.
thing.
I think one thing that I didn't talk about earlier is that like I don't know what your expectation was going into this game, but knowing that Bukhari was out, knowing how toothless we look without Diego Rubio, I was not expecting a lot. I fully went into this game just trying to enjoy my last night at Q2 for the season. I went to Little Patagonia and I got myself some empanadas before the match. I made sure to bring my souvenir cup so I could fill it up with soda a couple of times. Like I made sure to do a full lap of the stadium when we got there so that I could see every angle of home before it goes away until February. And so for me and like the people in my section, it felt like we all had a similar expectation of this match.
Yeah, and I think that's also something that Adrian Healy's talked to us about this. We've talked about it. It's really easy to get caught up in sort of the frustration of what's going on, or like knowing they're in a hole and they're probably not going to win. And it's cool sometimes to just like soak in the moment. And it's still officially like I'm still with 20,738 of my closest friends 17 times a year, and it's a really special moment. And I kind of always take a lap because I always see a bunch of people that that I know through various things, and it's like it was a great chance to enjoy that without really, but I also bought into it, and I was totally ready for us to win. By the time I made that lap, I'm like, oh yeah, we're good. Never mind.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It wasn't until the third goal was scored for LA that I was like, maybe we won't. And even then, shout out to a friend of the show, Andrew Urban, who every 10 minutes in the second half was saying, it's X minutes to glory. We only have to score X number of goals in the remaining time. Like we were doing math all the way through to the very end. Hey man, 2 minutes to glory. We only have to score a goal every 15 seconds and we'll get ahead. Like it became fun, even though it wasn't fun,
Yeah, I just wrote something in that I didn't like. I'm going to change this to say I love the fact that all 3 smoke boxes caught fire.
Me too. I'm glad you changed it.
I was like, I mean, it's kind of embarrassing that they can't light smoke without the boxes catching on fire. But at this point, it's incredible. Go for it.
We should just lean into it. We should just shoot Verde fire out of the boxes also, right? Like everything should just be on fire. Like if we can't do the smoke alone, we may as well do fire and smoke.
Everywhere, yeah.
I did not like Jeremy Abobasi scoring on us again. F that. It's so frustrating. I don't know why he hates us so much.
He's running around with one of those little fans that people take to festivals.
Yeah.
To keep his neck cool. Or
right.
Whatever that thing is. Yeah.
I mean, it's so what it actually is it increases the blood pressure in your brain so that you're less likely to get concussions because it protects your head more. It's very cool science and it's very good for you. It looks ridiculous, but it's like every player should probably wear one.
This is like when my kid makes fun of the football players in Guardian caps who are just trying to like prevent CTE.
Yeah.
But they look like dorks. So yeah.
But like, I'd rather look like a dork than not be able to sit in a room with the lights on. So
no,
there's
that.
All right. We talked about other stuff that we didn't like during the conversation. What did we learn from this match or from this series?
That Austin's still not great. I think that Austin, throughout the series, like Austin was at its best in moments, and in those moments, the best Austin could do was be tied at 1 for 16 minutes, right? And that was both Nico and the tactics being on top of their game and the players executing as well as they could execute. So I think that's the number one thing that we learned that hopefully is something that Austin can work on in the offseason.
Yeah, there's just such a gap between Austin and the top teams in the West, the top teams in the league. The other thing that I learned is just how gigantic Son Heung-min is. And I know, like, as someone who watched a lot of Spurs, like Tottenham Hotspur is my Premier League team, I know how much he changed the culture at White Hart Lane, at Tottenham Stadium for, like, Korean fans coming to visit London. It became a destination in and of itself to go to White Hart Lane. And now, like, seeing him in LA, we've got, of course, our friends at Happy Foot Sad Foot have talked so much about the influx of Korean fans to LAFC, specifically their club. And I was not expecting it to come to Austin when Son came to Austin. But I saw more South Korean fans and more Sunny fans than like I've ever seen away fans at the stadium. They were everywhere. It was all over the stadium. It was crazy. Our section in 107 was full 4 rows back for like people wanting to get a glimpse of Sun Heung-min as he walked through the tunnel. Like it's it feels like the Beatles are here. Like it's so crazy. I was not expecting this, right? Like when we talk about, oh, Messi's in the league and that's going to be a real big deal, like that's what I would expect from people like who have to see Messi. And it's the same for Sun and South Korean fans.
And
It was
one of the
just
things
wild.
one of the things you talked about was like him being, one of the 3 best players in the league or whatever. And like the other thing that I would say I learned is like that is for real. Like he's just like he's at a different level,
Yeah, it's
even compared to
ridiculous.
Denny Buonga, right?
Right. He makes
Than
Denny
everybody
look
else on that field.
he makes Denny look like a regular speed guy, and we know Denny's one of the fastest players in the league. We like he makes Denny's finishes look worse, and we know he's one of the best finishers in the league. I think, I think Son Heung-min could score 40 goals next year. It's just
Well,
going to be ridiculous.
it is, and hopefully we don't have to play them in the first round of the playoffs again next year.
Well, we won't have to because we'll be the 1 seed, and there's no way that a team who has one player who scores 40 goals could end up any lower than 4th.
Perfect. Yes, let's go with that. I like it. We're gonna have
Speaking
a lot of time
next year.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of time to talk about this during the offseason. So like, let's just quickly, because I've already seen this, people wanting to move on. So November 26th is the final day for clubs to submit who they're going to pick up on an option. But I feel like most of the time clubs wait a few days. Like you don't make that announcement the day after the season ends.
Well,
But
some of the clubs have, which tells you how sure they were about those choices.
So I think, we'll see it probably before the 26th. Free agency, December 10th. Reentry draft, December 11th. You remember we didn't see a lot out of the reentry draft. Super draft on December 18th, which apparently Roto has no regard for, so I would not expect to see a lot out of that. So on the option list,
yeah,
who are you going to bring back? Who are you going to let go?
I was going to say we should go down the list. Brendan Heinzike, bring back or let go.
I'm going to bring him back.
I'm going to bring him back.
Sure of that than I was a week ago.
Yeah, I'm going to bring him back. Danny Pereira.
Got to bring him back.
This
We're
is
selling for a pile of money.
Yeah, this is a non-star, like a non-conversation to me. You exercise the option and then sell him, or you keep him because he's a perfect MLS midfielder, like Diego Rubio.
If you can keep Diego Rubio on a supplemental deal again, I'm bringing him back. If not, gonna let him go.
Yep, same. Ilie Sanchez.
I'm letting Ilie go.
I am not picking up the option on Ilie. If Ilie wants to stay on a deal that's closer to Diego Rubio's, let's talk.
Do you think he does that here, though? But I guess you wouldn't have thought Diego Rubio would have been the guy to do that here. And I know Diego Rubio has kind of like set down some roots and has a lot of family interests and stuff like that. But
he's been really clear that he wants to join the coaching staff of Austin FC. So who knows? There might be something cooking in the front office for that kind of position. Julio Cascante.
Gotta let that dude walk, unless you get the witch.
I was gonna say, what about the witch
before the move's announced? He's in such a weird spot. Like he's not a completely useless player, and he's got things he adds, but he's just so expensive at this point in his career. Not playing a lot,
and he's not a guy who I think will take a 50% pay cut to stay at the same team, but I think that's about his value, and so I think we'll see him move somewhere else for probably that amount of money, right? I would expect to see him on a $350,000 to $400,000 deal next year. I do not think he would take that here. But
I feel like just the way. I mean, it's a guy. Well, I mean, lots of athletes have egos, so I don't mean this to be specifically directed at him, but also get the sense that he doesn't feel like he's gotten the playing time over the last season that he feels like he should have, which makes him less inclined to take that hometown discount that he might otherwise.
Yep, exactly. You could see when he was walking around the field that he was really taking it in for the last time, or what he believes to be the last time. So Yeah. I think that was a man who was working on closure in the stadium while it was happening. Steph Cleveland is our last free agent here, pending free agent, depending on whether we take his option or not. Do you renew the Steph Cleveland option on a senior roster spot for a backup goalkeeper who saw very little action and did not cover himself in glory with that action?
No, and I'm surprised that we didn't get more from him. I mean, this is a guy that's got a pretty good track record in the league, but I don't see any way with what he's done, you pick him back up. I also do not see the return of Damian Loss to Austin. Like, I think you go find the next Matt Bersano or whatever. Like, Brad's proven himself to be an Iron Man. Like, find a guy who's cheap, especially on a club that still is not going to have a ton of roster flexibility. You can create some salary relief by finding like just a dude off the street and paying him as little as you can pay him to sit on the bench and play like one U.S. Open Cup match.
Yep. I think you're probably right. I would be surprised unless he gets a loan to an MLS club if Damian Loss is still on Austin FC next year. All right, that's the list.
You forgot Jimmy Farkerloon on a supplemental.
You're right. Jimmy is not a pending free agent, and so I was only looking at the free agent list. Yeah. You are right. Jimmy
It's an
time
option year.
does have an option. Do you pick up Jimmy's option, Jeremiah?
I mean, why not? It's got to be cheap enough. Sure.
I think it's Jimmy time to move on.
I think in reality, yeah, I think we will see no more of Jimmy time in Austin. But
it's a heartbreaker because, man, nothing beats this. Nothing beats the Jimmy time celebration where he's tapping his wrist. Nothing beats the post where he made 4 custom Farkerloon jerseys.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Like, there's nothing quite like that. That was the highlight of his career. Yeah, unfortunately in Austin, but it was beautiful too.
Yeah, it really was special. I went to the Verde store to try and see if those jerseys were really up for sale. They weren't. But shout out to Jimmy for all the memories. Thanks for growing the legend, man. I do think he is the least likely to have his option picked up. So I am comfortable with thanking him for growing the legend now.
Now. Not having to take that back later. Yeah,
exactly. Right. God, imagine next week. I'd like to issue formal retraction.
3-year contract extension on a senior deal. Yeah. No, so that's what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-ish senior roster spots opened up, depending upon the Ilie and well, I guess Rubio's
not senior.
So not a senior. So still, I guess, not a ton of openings.
2, maybe 3, depending on what Ilie does. We could get 3. All 3 of them are domestic players, though. So now we're looking at fringe U.S. guys who maybe are trying to come back to the States before the World Cup. Maybe we're looking at the 2026 free agent list to see if there's anybody in there. It's not the flexibility that I think Roto would like to have.
Which is maybe an argument. I don't know. Maybe it's an argument for like not picking up BHI either and seeing what you can do.
I mean, he's another domestic player. It doesn't get him that international slot that he wants, right? I don't know. I don't know how he's going to build this roster in the offseason, but it'll be a journey.
It will be. And we'll have plenty of time to talk about it. And now I'm sad, Mike. I was all ready to be fired up about 2026.
Look, the important thing to remember,
I'm depressed.
No, the important thing to remember is we are undefeated in 2026. And we will stay that way until at least February. All right. Y'all, if you had fun, if you did not have fun, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. 5 stars is what we want. Anything less, tell somebody else. Don't put it on the internet. Wherever you get your podcast, though, do that, because growing the show is like only possible through word of mouth. Every other way that podcasts grow is cheating and not real. So tell everyone that you know who is a sicko, who wants to become a sicko, who wants to talk about cute boys. There's something for them on the Moon Tower feed. If you want to continue the conversation, check us out on the internet. Jeremiah is everywhere at jbentley_ATX. Moon Tower Soccer, if you put it in Google, you'll find it. Any of our socials.
Swoon Tower on Instagram now.
Yeah. That's right. We got Swoon Tower on Instagram. And sign up for the Patreon. Patreon.com/MoonTowerSoccer. I told you, anywhere on the internet, you can find it there. So do that. We will. Oh my God, it's time to start thinking about 2026 merch items.
Yeah, well, so if there's something you want or like, this is like the thing that we end up spending a ton of time trying to figure out and talking about. It's like keeping the 26, keeping the merch fresh every year. And I feel like we killed it with the bandana.
The bandana was so good.
And the hot sauce this year.
The hot sauce was incredible.
I don't know if we can find something this good for next year, but we're open to ideas.
I'm just saying, it might be time for a summer weight scarf with Moon Tower on one side and Swoon Tower on the other.
I kind of love that. Okay.
So we can talk.
Don't tell Landon.
Yeah,
all right.
Don't tell Landon.
We'll talk off air.
Hush. This is a secret. Just me and JB. Y'all, thank you so much for listening. Landon will be back next week. I will not be here unless something comes up crazy and JB can't be here. But do you think he's fluent in Japanese now?
Oh, I think he is. I think he did like 4 Duolingo lessons before he went, and I'm sure that was enough to get him started.
Yeah.
And he's just been doing immersion for 2 weeks.
Japanese, a famously easy language to learn.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear his fluency on the show when he speaks entirely in Japanese in the intro. I am looking so forward to his take on the series, on what y'all have to say about the off season, and I just can't wait to start listening on Tuesdays again instead of being on and then listening on Mondays. All right. Until next time, I'm Mike Craniola.
I'm Jeremiah Bentley. We'll catch you next time.
That's right.
When no one is around.
Think for nothing, you never.
La gente, oh my God.